Hey everyone, in this video today we're going to talk about predominant chords. So a predominant chord is basically a chord that leads nicely into the dominant. So at this point in theory the two main predominant chords are going to be 4 and 2. And 2 is a natural choice because of the circle of fifths. So if you think about the circle of fifths when we were looking at key signatures, D and G are right next to each other on those, so they have, between the two roots, they have a fifth motion. 4 is also a good choice as a predominant chord because its root is right next to the root of the 5 chord. So in C major the F goes to the G, and that's really nice for voice leading. One of the things you'll notice is that a lot of the time you'll see the 2 chord in first inversion so that you can get the best of both worlds. So you have not only the root motion by fifth, which is very strong, but you also have that bass motion by step, which also gives us a nice smooth shape. So if you listen to that 4, 5, 1 sound is very strong, leads us into a nice well-defined cadence. So let's listen to this little snippet that I have here and see if we can identify the predominant chords. Clearly they're going to be the chords that we haven't seen before, so we're adding a whole new set of tools to our arsenal. So the second chord, we have an F, we have an A, and we have a C. So that's the 4 chord in C major, and that leads right into the 5-7 chord. You'll notice with the 5-7 chord the leading tone is resolving up, and the 7th of the chord is resolving down. A little bit further along we see another F, so this is a 2-6 chord. We have F, D, and A, and that, just like I was talking about, steps into the 5, and then the 5 moves in root position to the 1. So very strong cadence at the end here. That's really all you have to know about predominant chords in the general sense. They don't always have to lead to the dominant. It's not like if you had a 4 that went somewhere else, that would be cause for dismissal from school. Sorry, that was a bit dramatic. But a lot of the time 4 and 2 go to 5. Now the last thing we have to talk about is making these into 7th chords. So we have 5-7, we have 7 diminished 7. Now let's see if we can make these 7. With these chords they're called non-dominant 7th chords because basically they're not dominants, so they're predominant. But the 7th functions the same way. It still wants to step down. So let's see what we can do. Let's start with the 2-6. So the 2-6, to turn that into a 2-6-5, we're going to take one of these 2 Ds and we're going to move it to a C, so that we have D, F, A, and C. So the D will take down to a C, and because it's already written for us, the C is going to step down to the B and back up to the C, and that will then become a 2-6-5. So that's the one that you're going to see most often. 2-6-5 is very, very popular. You'll see it all the time in Bach, for example. The 4-7, probably less popular. Let's see what we can do with this. I guess I'll move the tenor up to the E, and then that 7th has to fall. So this will no longer be a 5-7, but this will be a 4-7, so that kind of makes up for it. So now we have F, A, C, and E. The E is falling by step, the 7th of the chord falls by step, and it's leading us to the 5 chord. So let's listen to that and see what a difference it makes. Let's listen one more time. So you can see that the 2-6-5 is really a much mellower 7th chord than the 4-7. The 4-7, the 7th of that 4 chord adds a lot of color It's really very pretty, but sometimes it sticks out a little bit undesirably, which is why we don't tend to see 4/7 as much. The 2/6/5, the seventh of that chord just gives it a little bit more color, a bit more, just a touch more crunchiness, but it doesn't make it stick out. It really just adds to that whole flow of the music. And so that's predominant chords.